Welcome to Philosophical Sleep Stories with me, Lana. I'm so happy you're here tonight, nestled under the soft whisper of rain on the window pane. Picture yourself by a warm fire, a mug of tea in hand, as we unravel the timeless truth of the Upanishads, a journey to peace within life's quiet moments. I've dimmed the lights just for us, letting the rain weave its magic. So breathe deep, let the day slip away, and join Lana for this 30-minute escape into stillness. Close your eyes and imagine yourself walking a winding path through an ancient forest. The air is cool, scented with pine and damp earth, and a gentle rain taps the leaves above, a rhythm as old as time. Ahead, a soft glow flickers, a lantern swaying from the hand of a woman in a simple shawl. Her hair is streaked with gray, her eyes deep with years, and she turns to you with a quiet smile. "I'm Mira," she says, her voice steady like the rain. "I've been waiting to share a story, one that's lived in me since I was young, a truth from the Upanishads." You step closer, the lantern's light spilling over the path, and feel a stillness settle in, as if the forest itself holds its breath. She lifts the lantern higher, its glow catching the droplets on the leaves, turning them into tiny stars. "This light," she says, "is older than me, older than this forest. It's the truth we carry inside, sometimes buried, but never gone." You pull your coat tighter, the rain a soft companion, and follow her as she begins. A tale not of grand quests, but of the quiet search for what's real. Mira walks slowly, her footsteps soft on the mossy ground, and the lantern sways like a heartbeat. "I was a teacher once," she says, "in a small town where the days blurred into years, grading papers, brewing coffee, watching the seasons turn. My husband Ben would sit by the window, sketching birds he'd never chase, and our son Daniel grew too fast, his laughter fading as he left for the city." You hear the rain soften, mirroring her tone, and picture her life, simple, steady, yet somehow incomplete. "I thought I knew what mattered," she continues. "The lessons I taught, the home I kept. But one night Ben was gone, quietly in his sleep, and I sat alone, staring at his empty chair, wondering what I'd missed." You glance at her, the lantern casting shadows on her lined face, and feel a pang. Those nights you've sat awake, tracing your own losses, asking the same silent question. "That's when I found it," Mira says, "not in a book, but in the stillness, a whisper from the Upanishads. The truth isn't out there in the things we chase, it's here in us." The rain hums and you feel the forest wrap around you, as if it's nodding to her words. The path opens to a clearing, and Mira stops before a small stone house, its windows dark, its roof glistening under the rain. "This was home," she says, pushing the door ajar. Inside, the air is still, heavy with dust and memory. An empty chair by the hearth, a shelf of worn books, a single cup on the table. "After Ben left," she says, "I couldn't stay. The silence was too loud, the walls too full of what wasn't there. You step inside, the rain tapping the roof like a friend knocking, and feel the weight of her words. Those rooms in your own life, emptied by time or choice." "I packed a bag," she continues, "and walked away. Not far, just to the edge of town where the river bends. I thought I'd find answers in new places, new faces." You imagine her then, a woman alone, the lantern her only light, searching for something she couldn't name. "But the truth doesn't move," she says. "The Upanishads taught me that it's not in the leaving, but in the staying still." Mira sets the lantern on the table, its flame flickering over the bare walls. "I came back," she says. "Not because I had to, but because I wanted to understand. I sat here night after night, listening to the rain, letting the questions settle." You sit across from her, the chair creaking under you, and think of your own late nights, staring at the ceiling, weighing the years, wondering if you've lived right. "I'd taught others to seek," she says, "to read, to question, but I'd never stopped to ask myself, what's true beyond the words?" "One evening," she continues, "I found an old journal, Ben's, tucked under a floorboard. He'd written about the birds, yes, but also about me, how I'd hume while cooking, how I'd linger by the window with him. I read it under this lantern, the rain drumming outside, and felt him there, not gone, but part of me." You nod, picturing your own keepsakes, a letter, a photo, a voice you still hear. "The Upanishads call it Atman," Mira says, "the self that holds all truths, not what we do, but what we are." I stopped running then. The room wasn't empty, it was full of me. The rain steadies, and you feel a calm washing over you, as if the house agrees. Mira rises, beckoning you to the door, and you step out into the rain-soaked night. The path leads to a river, its surface rippling under the drizzle, reflecting the lantern like a scattered moon. "I'd come here," she says, after Daniel left. "His room too quiet, his calls too rare. I'd sit by this water, watching it flow, thinking it held answers." You stand beside her, the rain cool on your skin, and imagine those days, your own goodbyes, the spaces they left behind. "I'd ask it everything." She says, "Why him? Why now?" But the river just sang, steady, and unhurried. Then one night, she adds, I stayed longer, the rain heavier, the lantern low. I stopped asking and listened. It wasn't the river's song, it was mine. You hear it too, the rain blending with the current, a lullaby older than words. The Upanishads say truth isn't separate, she says. It's the river, the rain, the self, all one. You think of your own rivers, moments you've sat still, letting the world speak, finding peace in the quiet. I brought others here, Mira says, neighbors who'd lost their way, a widow like me, a man whose shop had closed. We'd sit, not speaking much, just listening. You picture them, shadows by the water, the lantern a shared light, the rain stitching their silences together. They'd tell me things, she says, small truths, a recipe she'd kept, a song he'd hummed to his kids. I'd share mine, Ben's sketches, Daniel's laugh. You nod, thinking of your own circle, friends over coffee, a call that bridged years, the truths you've held close. The Upanishads don't give answers, she says. They point you back to what's always been there beneath the noise. The rain softens, and you feel it too, those pieces of you, steady like the river, woven into every day you've lived. Truth isn't a prize, she adds. It's a mirror. The lantern glows faintly, and you let her words sink in, the night wrapping you like a blanket. The rain steadies as Mira leads you back to the house, the lantern swaying in her hand. There were nights, she says, when I doubted it all, when the river felt cold, the truth too far. You step inside, the warmth of the hearth brushing your face, and she sets the lantern down, its light catching a small mirror on the wall. I'd look here, she says, after Ben, after Daniel, and see only lines, years I couldn't hold. You glance at it, imagining your own reflection. Those mornings you've wondered who's looking back, what they've carried. Then one storm, she says, the power went out, and I lit this lantern. The mirror caught it, just my face, soft in the glow, no questions left. You feel it too, those times you've stood still, not searching, just being. The Upanishads call it Brahman, she says, the truth beyond form, in everything. I saw it that night, not out there, but here. The rain taps the roof, and you sense the house breathe with her, as if it's held this truth all along. I started living differently, Mira says, not chasing, not fixing, just tending. I'd bake bread for the widow next door, mend a coat for the man by the river. You picture her hands, steady, worn, kneading dough under this light, and think of your own acts, a meal shared, a kind word given. The truth isn't loud, she says. It's in the small things, the rain on the leaves, the bread in the oven. The lantern flickers and you feel a weight lift, as if the rain's washing something away. I'd sit here, she adds, and feel Ben, Daniel, not gone, but near, in me. The Upanishads taught me that they're not lost, just part of the same light. You think of your own lost ones, faces in photos, voices in dreams, and nod. It's enough, she says, to be here now. The rain hums, and the mirror glows faintly, reflecting you both in its quiet truth. The rain fades to a whisper as Mira sits by the hearth, the lantern's flame a soft ember. Years passed, she says, and this house became my teacher. Not its walls, but its stillness. You settle beside her, the warmth curling around you, and imagine it. The seasons turning, the rain steady, Mira finding peace in the quiet. I'd walk to the river, she says, not to ask, but to listen, to the water, to myself. You feel it too, those moments you've paused, the world hushed, the truth rising like a tide. The Upanishads say it's all one, she says. The self, the rain, the light. I don't chase it anymore. I let it be. The rain outside slows, a lullaby blending with the fire's faint crackle, and you breathe deeper, the night soft against your skin. She looks at you, her eyes steady in the dim light. I think of Ben sketching, she says. Daniel running through these woods. They're here, not as shadows, but as me. You feel it too, those you've loved, woven into your days, your breath. The truth isn't something you find, she says. It's what you are, always there, waiting. You lean back, the rain a gentle hum, and think of your own truths, moments you've held, hands you've touched, the life you've built. What's yours? She asks, her voice fading into the stillness. Maybe it's your family, your quiet victories, the nights you've kept going. You don't answer aloud, but the question lingers, warm and unhurried. The lantern dims, the rain a whisper, and you let Mira's story carry you into peace, into dreams, into the truth you've always carried. Mira's lantern fades now, the rain a soft echo as stillness wraps around you. Thank you for sharing this night with me, Lana. I hope her truth lingers, a gentle light for your dreams. Now, relax, close your eyes, and let the rain carry you to peace. This is Lana, signing off See you in the next philosophical sleep story. Sweet dreams.